How do I create good, unique content when I've already posted a lot? I feel like I'm repeating myself. It's a great question. Obviously, that's something that we deal with. Even like I said, we were just talking 1 second ago about some of these videos that we're doing, maybe answering questions that have been potentially asked in the past, or at least overlapped a little bit in the past. So, this is obviously a client saying, how do they continue to create content when they've already done a lot of content and it starts to feel like they're repeating? One of the best ways I think you can do that is to base content off of projects and or things that you're currently doing. That way, there's probably not going to be a lot of things that are exactly the same. One of the things we do for a lot of our clients is what we call project portfolios. Like a project they're working on, we will summarize that as a piece of content in their blog section or their latest news section. That allows us to talk about their product and or service. It also allows us to integrate in a city and state that they may have done that product or service in. So it gives us a little bit of SEO with regard to that particular state versus maybe another state or another city, let's say. So it gives us a little bit of localized SEO on that post as well. And it always ensures that there's something a little bit different. There may be similarities between the type of product or service they're doing, but there's always going to be something slightly different about the post just because it's a different project. So we could talk about different things in the project. So one of the ways you can get out of the rut of feeling like you're doing the same project over and over again is to try to create content that's based on the work that you're doing. Take some pictures of some of the work you're doing and create a piece of content based on that work. There's always something new you can say about that, or there should be something new you can say, a unique challenge that you guys faced, or a unique product that you guys utilized, or something of that nature. So now I talk a little bit later. I think there's a question coming up that's going to talk about this. I always do feel like there's a benefit to doing a lot of content. However, if you don't feel like you have anything worthwhile to say, if you feel like you can't create a piece of good content, I would guard against just putting out content that you don't even feel like is good or that you can be proud of just in order to create a piece of content. You always want things that you put out to be something that you can be proud of and stand behind and feel good about. So if you don't feel like you have something like that for this week, don't get so caught up with, I have to put something out this week to such a degree that you'll put out something that you don't even like just to, put something out. So again, make sure that you're creating content that you're going to be happy and proud about. This is going to be content if people review your page that they may see 6 months after you post it or something like that. So I know Jordan just mentioned, I saw a comment, some of the best content is content I didn't think would even be seen, reach one person. That's certainly true, Jordan. I'm not saying, it must have been a good piece of content or it was done in such a way that it caught somebody's attention. Obviously, you have to feel good about it. More than anything, it has to be something you feel like truly represents your company, things like that. And if it reaches a large number of people or reaches a small number of people, that's secondary in some ways. Obviously, you always want it to reach a lot of people, but you don't want to put out content you don't feel good about just because you feel like you need to put a post out. So that's what I'm getting at with that. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully with regard to this question, how to create more content when you've already posted a lot, I've given you some ideas as far as trying to base the content off something that's going on currently. Sometimes you could even base it off of current events. Like we're heading into winter now in a lot of the parts of the country. So you can create content that's based on something that your product or service uniquely does in a wintertime setting, or why somebody may want to consider your product or service going into the winter. Or, you could do that seasonal. You could do it, around holidays. You could do it around major events, whether it's a sporting event or anything like that. So I think you have to look for ways that you could create unique content. And there are plenty of ways you could create unique content. I would agree with what I think this poster was asking initially, though, is you don't want to just continue to create content that's the same thing over and over again. Your audience is going to begin to tune you out because they're going to be like, I've already read this basic thing 500 times already. I don't want to read it a 501st time. So I do agree with their what I think the underlying basis of this question was which is the need to create unique content. You don't want to just create the same thing over and over and over again.